this point, what do we even do? The weather system that was moving through was pretty much hitting the entire mountain range, and all the rivers that we had planned to fish drain off of this mountain range. Obviously, we've been trying that day after day, moving across drainages, hoping for a little light at the end of the tunnel. But I think we'd all sort of maybe just accepted the fact that nothing was going to go the way we thought it was going to go.
Man, like, what are we doing? This is not how we wanted to do this.
Oh my gosh. Yikes. Part of being in wild places is that the conditions are wild and unpredictable.
I was already in the reality of we're gonna have to come back and do this in another couple weeks. There's just no shot of us fishing. This is all of our gear that we're trying to consolidate, load in the car, and head north to Wyoming. We're meeting up with Chase and Aimee, the Tie Loops crew. And man, we've been planning this for so long. Months and months. We've been talking about doing a trip together for years. And it's finally happening.
Today's the day. We're getting ready to meet up with Scottie. I think we're all really excited. We've kind of been looking forward to this trip all summer more than anything else, really. We're going to start off getting to show Scottie some of the places that we love the most in the world, and then after that we're going to be exploring some new stuff that none of us have seen.
This is really our one window to make this happen. If not now, it could be another couple years before our schedules line up again.
Coming into this trip, I'm probably most excited just to be outside. Since we did our new truck build, it's been a long time since we've been out in a place like this with time to just sit and think and explore.
Unfortunately, the Honda Pilot is out of commission currently, right over there. So we had to rent a car because we're going to be going on some pretty gnarly roads that are pretty wash. What are they called?
Washboard.
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 Going on some
rocks.
wash. Yeah. This is the whip. And now we head to Wyoming. Let's do it.
Let the midnight special shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine a heaven loving light on me. You're gone, Miss Rosie. How in the world did you know? By the way she wear her apron and the clothes she wore, umbrella on her shoulder, piece of paper in her hand. She come to see the governor. She want to free her man. Let the midnight special shine a light on me. Let the midnight special.
Wow. That's a cool rig. That's home for the week. Dude,
What's up, man?
good to see ya.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, Aimee, what's happening? There's a lot of logistics behind planning a trip like this and aligning everyone's schedules. So when we finally got together and linked up, it was a really exciting moment.
And the reason we're here is because the greater Yellowstone ecosystem is arguably the most intact and remote series of connected wildernesses left in the lower 48. When you catch a native fish in a place that its forebears have evolved in for 10,000 years, that experience feels right and true to me. And we're here because this is sort of one of the last places where you can get a truly wild experience.
Where I go, hope I go so easily. No ifs or ands, no paper man stopping my journey. The winds, yes, the winds, they carry me. All these places, warm embraces, interlace so easily.
When we started making fishing films in 2013 was around the same time that Scottie and his cousins and friends were starting making films under Wildfly. And this was early days for YouTube, but a guy who works for Orvis, a guy named Phil Monahan, who was curating all sorts of fishing films, videos across the web and posting them on Orvis's blog. It was called the Friday Fly Fishing Film Festival. Every week I'd start surfing the Friday Fly Fishing Film Festival, partly to see like, are we on there again? Are they gonna push some of our stuff? But also just to see like, what are other people doing?
I remember seeing these two tatted up folks. This lady, she's like riding on a motorcycle, like standing up. And so I remember being aware of tight loops early on and seeing this experience of going out west and going on this road trip. Fish eating dry flies, just incredible landscapes. And that was always something I was yearning for.
In tracking that Friday Film Festival, you started to see this like familiar cast of characters. Every couple of weeks or something, there'd be another video from a certain group of people. And one of those groups was Scottie and Wildfly.
You know, I was in North Carolina at the time, so we were fishing small little trout streams there in the mountains, and cutthroat seemed like this just mystical creature and this mystical fish because it was so foreign to me.
At that age, we were in our, early 20s. Scottie was like a young teenager and his friends. They seemed like, to us, at that age when you're in your 20s, like a 14 or 15-year-old seems like a little, they might as well be 8. But their early videos really stuck out to me, and I don't know exactly what it was. Maybe it was just like the childlike exuberance.
And then years go by and like keeping in touch online and seeing each other's channels grow, and then to finally meet Scottie in North Carolina, and it's like you're meeting someone for the first time, but it feels like you've known them for years.
Let it out, I'm talking meltdown.
You hear that slap?
Yeah, the rest is history. Now we're in the middle of the Wyoming backcountry making a film together for the first time.
Salt and shine.
I'm a little concerned that I didn't bring enough layers. It's been like 95 to 100 plus in Salt Lake. Last night was cold. Fortunately, it was pretty warm in the rig there, but I had all my layers on, and I was still being a little chilly. But that's okay, because we got the sun up right now, and we're gonna go find some fish today.
Yeah, first day when we got there, things were looking good.
We're about to get on the water, and it is ideal conditions. Water's clear, the sun's out, incredible western Wyoming landscapes.
By all indications, it was going to be a banner day.
The clouds have kind of moved in right as we're about to go fishing. And that is what's coming for us.
Nah, that's not how this story goes.
This one right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, right off the bat we started seeing action. Things were happening.
Good, it looks good.
And things were slowly building. Fishing was decent to start with. We were catching a couple small fish and we were kind of enjoying each other's company and enjoying the scenery.
First fish of the trip. Not what we're after, but something that ate a dry fly. I'd be happy catching these guys on the East Coast, but not quite what we're after.
I have a firm belief that nature knows what's best for itself 1,000 times more than people do. My interest in native fish is just my interest in the natural world. And so it's impossible if you spend a bunch of time around rivers to not ask yourself, well, what's in the rivers? What's under the water? And then you get answers like, oh, there's fish under there. Oh, what are those fish called? Oh, they're called trout. Cool. Like, where'd the trout come from? Oh, actually, these were planted in here by people in the 1800s. Oh, interesting. Like, what was in there before that? Oh, there was a different species of trout that's actually native to this area. You know, you find yourself going down these rabbit holes and asking these questions if you just have a curiosity about the things around you.
Yeah, the orange is really interesting, I think.
Oh yeah, that's what we're looking for.
Right.
Maybe 5 times bigger.
Native fish really started to decline with the settlement of Europeans in the U.S., which, you know, out here in the West is 250 years ago. So it's been so long that a lot of those changes are kind of hidden by the landscape at this point. Species that exist here at a detriment to native species which evolved over tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of years in perfect harmony with their environment. People have carelessly dumped a bunch of other things in there that wreak havoc on those ecosystems purely for, in many cases, sport, and certainly in the early 1800s, often for food.
When I first got into fly fishing, I was fishing for stocked fish in ponds in Rhode Island and fishing rivers with stocked fish, and I didn't really think anything of it. It was just fun to catch a fish and to see these fish in river systems and to understand and learn how to read water and all that stuff. And as things progressed, as you start to fish in more and more places, you start to become a little bit more aware of your impact.
We have a compulsion to want to alter the landscape under the impression that we can better it in some way. It's some innate human drive. But I don't think that we're capable of doing it. In fact, I think that everything we mess with, we only make worse, largely because we can't even conceive of the complexity in the natural world. You know, these relationships between the fish and the rivers and the bugs and the insects and the wildlife and everything has been built over hundreds of thousands of years.
That was a good one.
The Yellowstone cutthroat at one point had the highest numbers of any cutthroat species in the country. That was largely because of this giant reservoir of fish in the center of Yellowstone National Park in Yellowstone Lake. The fish numbered in the millions. And the only places where they've persisted, for the most part unadulterated, are these really remote areas. We were kind of taking our time, fishing our way up through some kind of marginal water, knowing that the best water would be ahead, but there didn't really feel like there was any need to rush.
This is why we're really here, boys. Rocks. Not just any rocks. Rocks that didn't used to be rocks. This rock used to be a tree.
Oh my God.
Now it's a rock.
I mean, day one felt like it was supposed to feel. Like, I was like, all right, we're here. The weather's doing what I expected it to do. Like, everything seemed to be going as planned. Until it wasn't.
There's a huge wall of rain coming right towards us.
That was a solid one.
This is getting really hairy.
Oh boy. Well.
Oh,
fuck, that was a good one. Shit. It's getting, like, visibility is turning to shit out there. It's coming straight for us.
Oh my god, that is just a wall. Oh boy.
Should I put the streamer on?
Dude, perfect time for the streamer.
If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna go down with streamer eats.
Not right now.
You don't think I should fish right now?
Amateur. Amateur.
During the session that afternoon, the water went turbid, started to rise, and the fishing turned off like in a second.
Well, we made it.
You did it.
We haven't quite made it yet.
Yeah.
Almost made it.
We're almost to food. 2 miles and about an hour later.
Almost there. Salt and pepper.
So everyone's got like a little portion of meats.
Yeah.
And then I guess everyone just use your hands. It's all gonna get cooked after.
Top it off with some oil.
Yeah, because it'll stick otherwise, so you want to get a good amount of oil on it. This is the part that I get nervous about, because if you don't like close it well, it'll leak out. All right. See what happens. We started living on the road in 2019. The idea was we're gonna get this great vehicle. We can live out of it for 2 or 3 months at a time. We'll drive it out to Montana and just fish out of it.
Good.
Mm-hmm. We're cooked all the way through.
I didn't really get it at the time.
He was like, we should just get a pickup truck and like put a bed in the back. And I was like,
Yeah.
but these vans, look
These
at
vans
how
are sick.
cool they
Yeah.
are. Like, it's a Volkswagen. It's adorable. Let's get one.
We really wanted to travel more. I was working in construction. I was very unhappy because as we started to get sparked on doing more creative stuff, all of a sudden this like fun, like salt of the earth 9-to-5 job I'd been working was like getting in the way of doing the creative stuff we wanted to do.
There's a little bit of necessity in that my parents were selling the apartment that we were living in, so it was like either find a new place to live in Massachusetts or move into the van. Obviously with an old vehicle like Bullwinkle, it's a 1985 Volkswagen van again, there's a lot of things that you're trying to keep up with in an old vehicle, and the scales really started to tip for us where we were working on the van more than we were traveling. After 3 years, it just felt like maybe it was time to make a change.
You excited?
It doesn't even like feel like it's actually ours. The new rig is such a game changer for us. It has air conditioning, which is not a new invention. It's 2023, but it's still pretty exciting for us.
So far, it looks like I'm leading us directly into a rainstorm.
So we're moving to a different spot, different drainage, just a couple canyons over.
Where are we going now, boys? We did this in the van, and this hill almost killed the van. We like pedal to the floor. We were going like 7 miles an hour.
Oh my god. What should we be expecting on this drive in this river where we're headed?
Yeah, maybe mud.
Oh my gosh, dude. Yikes.
We're gonna stop here for a second.
I want to just grab a stick and try and like knock some of it off. If you're getting towards the bottom and like hitting the brakes is making you slide, like you might just have to momentum through. Within reason, you're gonna take this whole thing slow, but hold
Did
your
you guys
grip,
get
you
them
know.
like
So
relatively clear? Like you can see some of the rubber?
some, but I mean, look, this is just
I
from
know.
walking around the truck. Like you're
Yeah.
gonna pick it up right away again. But
Oh, I feel a little sick to my stomach. Getting down those hills and sliding in the mud and having our whole house be in this truck definitely complicates things.
We're really putting this rental car to the test.
so it's like, how much friction does your hand have against a stick of butter? How much friction does 2 sticks of butter have against each other?
Oh, that's exactly what it felt like.
Just arrived at a new location and almost had our asses handed to us getting here. And it looks really good. Looks can be deceiving, but we're certainly hopeful that this is finally going to be what the doctor ordered. But I'm learning not to get my hopes up.
Things are starting to happen. We swapped out hats. I figure we're in Wyoming. We got to get with the program. We pulled out the 3-weight, the lightsaber, and then now we got a little ant pattern on. This is about a sleigh, dude. I don't know what you're talking about.
We did make it to the bottom and we got to the place where we were going to camp, and the skies opened up and the water there looked good. It wasn't discolored. 2 casts in, Scottie hooks a fish. Three casts later, another fish, and we're like, this is it. You know, like we're in it now. You know, yesterday's problems are immediately forgotten, and it's going to be clean sailing from here on out. Never underestimate the ant. I don't like the locals. Save some fish for the rest of us.
You said you needed some distance now. You kept me distant too long.
Nice.
When you were making your mind up, was making up mine and moving on. Hey, 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 don't keep me jumping for something that's not there. Don't leave me out in the cold. Hey, 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 I'm not gonna lay over this time. I'm not jumping for you.
Hell yeah.
The pace starts picking up and everyone's getting excited and finally getting into some fishing, just one after another.
One time you'll come knocking on my door. 4 a.m. Let's go. All smiles, arms wide open now. But I'll be gone by then. Hey, 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 don't keep me jumping for something that's not there. Don't leave me out in the cold.
I'm the little guy.
Hey, 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 I'm not gonna leave over this time. I'm not jumping for you. And we were
Nice.
But I got someone new now. New now. Hey, 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 don't keep me jumping for something that's not there. Don't leave me in the cold. Hey, 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 I'm not gonna lay over this time. I'm not jumping for you.
Do we talk about how Scottie broke a rod?
Oh yeah.
Scottie. All right, go ahead.
Scottie's a hurricane man-child.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, not the beetle.
Complete unpredictable liability. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But he did break a rod.
Not the
Let's
beetle.
get the beetle back. Oh no.
Oh no! Oh shit! Yeah, sometimes you just get a little too excited, and then you break a flat rod.
No.
And then again, like 2 hours later, here come the thunderstorms. They're coming over the mountain. They're looking nasty. It starts raining. It gets cold. It drops like 20 degrees. The fishing turns off. Again, we have to kind of like turn tail and sad, rainy walk back to the truck. Clouds are coming in. It's cold. We're tired. Fishing was okay. It's going to get better. I mean, it has to get better. It can get better. It will get better.
We need a solid day of like sunlight. We need the sun to come out. We'll get him. Start getting after him.
Tomorrow. There's always tomorrow.
Not quite the crystal clear water we were looking for. This is a result of 8 hours straight of rain.
River's blown out. Everyone is sort of just milling about, kind of unsure what the plan is. You know, we gotta leave. The weather's gonna just get worse. And the first thought I have is, how are we gonna get out of here?
Oh yeah, that tastes like black coffee. Now it's just a waiting game for this water to come down. After a few hours, it cleared up just enough for us to go out and fish it.
Couple of guys out here fishing some terrible water. Nothing to see here.
Ooh, she cold.
Is he really out here fishing the streamer right now? That guy's a hero. Oh, wow, and look at him. Cast after cast. No action, and he just keeps at it. That's marriage material. Now you guys all know why Aimee chose me.
It's time. For the worm?
Never give up, even if it's the wrong choice.
Look at that. Even the attractor ate it.
The wrong thing ate the fly.
Dude, look at this. The zen of fly fishing. Where are the fish? What are they doing? What are they thinking? What is a fish? Did Scottie break another rod? Just a glimmer of hope. Just want to know that I'm not alone in the universe. I'm out here in the middle of nowhere in a trout stream looking for connection. I didn't choose to be this brave, it chose me. Maybe we are all alone in the universe. If the water was clear and dry flies were hitting, and you could pop some sort of a chubby right in there on the edge of those rocks, forget about it. These trout are lazy. Millennials. Millennial trout. Would you prefer a streamer tied to imitate avocado toast? Are you trying to just keep hanging here for another hour or two to see if it clears, or should we just call it on this section and say yesterday was as good as it's gonna get?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm leaning towards.
Yeah, I have to look at some weather charts and figure out how far we got to go to find fishable water. After that, I have no idea.
You know, Chase and Aimee had been to this region before and had done really well. Had caught big fish, had just seen really productive fishing. It was a little discouraging to not have that when you know what could be.
What is the plan now? Because now we officially have now we're off schedule. So we pull up the internet, we do a little research, and we talk about pivoting. Where could we go that wouldn't be affected by all these storms?
If we wanted to fish the canyon, this might be the closest access point.
That's if we were to climb that. So, okay, it's like around 200 yards.
Oh, so it's only
It's not far.
120 yards to the water.
Someone said something about still going to check out the original river that we were supposed to go to fish, and it was a pretty much unanimous decision at that point. As soon as that was brought up, we at least, if we can't fish it, we still just want to see it, because we don't have anywhere else to go. We don't know what we're doing. We're all just sort of chasing our tails. Screw it, let's just go see it. Pull up Google Maps. It's 4 hours away. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So we just go.
Scattered thunderstorms for the next week, essentially. It is not ideal. It's like we keep running into dead ends on this trip. We're really, really hoping though that this next drainage that we're headed to is not going to be blown out. This morning we had a bunch of storms moving through, and we've got some decent weather up on the horizon. So we're gonna head to the river. This is the true test to see what it's gonna look like.
Yeah.
If it's not blown. This is kind of our last option, I feel like, at this point.
I like where our heads are at, how beat down we've been that we're considering this better weather. But
It's not windy and it's not raining.
yeah.
Well,
It's not as brown as it was down.
no, it's bad.
Not ideal for dry fly fishing.
No, I don't see any risers.
So we're in a bit of a predicament. It's like, do we just wait here and waste a couple days waiting for this muddy water to pass and still potentially it get worse with thunderstorms? Or do we come back in a couple weeks when the weather's better, the water's down? I don't know. It's kind of where we're at. I was already in the reality of we're going to have to come back and do this in another couple weeks because there's just no shot of us fishing.
Luckily, right where we're camped, there's a small feeder stream that comes into the main stem that has somehow managed to avoid the regional weather and is clear. It's a tiny stream. I mean, you could practically jump across it in a lot of places. It looks really hard to fish, super brushy, but There's literally nothing else for us to do at this point other than sit around camp and play cards and eat food and chit-chat and whatever.
You know, last-ditch effort. Everyone throws on their gear and loads up cameras, and we go out. We're here in the West to fish these beautiful rivers, and we're in this tiny stream that's super brushy, just like clawing our way through willows. It's not looking too promising.
It was very difficult to even get a cast in some of these holes.
20 minutes in, and Scottie goes up ahead, out of sight of us.
I managed to sneak up ahead of everybody, tossed in a cast in like the first promising looking hole, and sure enough, fish came up and ate it. And I hooked up. Nobody's around me, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is a good fish. I start yelling because I don't know where everyone is.
Keep in mind, this is like heavy bear country, so we're all yelling and screaming constantly anyway. We're trying to make a lot of noise.
And we're just in this tight quarter, so I'm like wrapped around logs and trees and everything, working it downstream.
And we all start sort of rushing up to find Scottie holding this pretty decent sized cutthroat.
Look at this man.
We were joking around that if he lost that fish, none of us would believe him, that he had even caught it.
Woo! That was surprising. Biggest fish of the trip so far on this little tiny tributary. You never know, right? Yeah. It's like seeing that in here is like, what's in the main stem? You know?
And it kind of felt like maybe things were going to change. Like maybe we were going to salvage this trip. If nothing else, maybe this tiny little creek was going to be the fishing that we'd been hoping for all along. I caught a couple fish. We were seeing fish in holes, and they were taking dry flies. It was tricky fishing, but it was really, really fun. I feel like the group's morale was really boosted. Slow release. And then, boom. At this point, what do we even do? The weather system that was moving through was pretty much hitting the entire mountain range, and all the rivers that we had planned to fish drain off of this mountain range. Obviously, we've been trying that day after day, moving across drainages, hoping for a little light at the end of the tunnel. But I think we'd all sort of maybe just accepted the fact that nothing was going to go the way we thought it was going to go, and that maybe we weren't going to get into good fishing.
Looked like it was all going to fucking burn off to the south.
Oh, that was a juicy run. I don't know where the body went, but I'm covered in blood.
Oh no. Oh wow, you really are. Against our best interests. We just keep coming back, hoping for a different result day after day, even though we know it's just going to be rainy and miserable. We're like, but what about 20 miles this way? Let's go check that. What's the radar? Oh, it doesn't look good, but it might be good. Let's go.
It might. Let's go check.
In a lot of ways, I think fly fishing and filmmaking are sort of kindred spirits for me. One of the reasons I'm so attracted to fly fishing is for the way it forces you to be an observer. To be a good angler, you need to be observant of things in nature. You need to be paying attention. You need to be present. How is the water moving around these rocks? How does it create structure? What bugs are in the air? Is there a fish rising over there? And I find that filmmaking is really the art of seeing as well. You know, I think a lot of people might think that the two are in conflict with each other. We often get comments from people saying, you're the type of people who probably couldn't even enjoy this experience without a camera in your hands. Like, you guys have to be filming everything and you're never actually living in the moment, etc. And I can understand why people might think that. But I actually think that filmmaking and seeing the world in that way enhances my experience of the outdoors, because I'm compelled to observe things carefully that maybe I wouldn't otherwise.
Need some love and some care. I thought I'd let you know that I'm still scared.
Don't burn your hands.
Here we go.
The ultimate.
Here we go.
Meeting Chase was when he introduced me to fly fishing, and I was like, I don't get it. Like, explain to me how this works. Like, show me how this works. I don't understand any of it. And it was so different than I thought in my mind of what fly fishing was. And after that, I just sort of got, I feel like it's like so cheesy to be like, I got hooked. It's like what comes to mind. But I fell in love with it. And it was less about the act of fishing and more about being in those places and enjoying nature and like having time to reflect and be quiet. It was quiet time for my brain that I needed but didn't necessarily know I needed.
And it's also, you know, it's become like an essential part of the way I navigate the world. For some people that might be sitting back and staring at the clouds, for some people that might be journaling, for some people it might be whatever, but a huge part of the way I interact with the world and navigate through the world is through the lens of a camera.
I think there was little something in all of us that just kept nagging us to stay.
We had the time slotted away, and I think we're all really stubborn, and we continued to hang around, waiting, talking, eating, checking on the river. River's still blown out, go back, hang out some more, check on the river again, still blown out. Okay, maybe tomorrow will be better, check it again, nope, it still looks like shit. No one's here. What a surprise that nobody's here. We're the only ones here. I wonder why. It came to the last day where we were getting ready to pack up. I think the night before we'd all kind of discussed it, and the plan was, well, this is definitely not going to get any better, so we'll roll out tomorrow, and maybe we'll just have to come back in a couple of weeks.
It's all over my face.
Yeah, you got some danglers.
Everything that had happened so far was going to be a wash, but of course you got to check the water when you wake up.
The water level looks like it came down just a touch, so we're gonna give it a shot. Still have no idea if it's gonna be fishable.
You're telling me there's a chance?
Yes.
And it's like, maybe it's a little bit better. At this point, you don't even really know if your mind's playing tricks on you. You're like, does it look any better? Maybe there's like 1 more inch of visibility.
Oh, man, like what are we doing? So we got out there and, you know, in rain jackets, you know, at this point I have waders on. It's like not exactly what I had in mind. You know, we found a hole that looked really promising and there was a fish rising.
Oh, he just ate again up top.
I feel like for all of us at that point, like you see a rising fish, you can't help but get excited.
Oh! No!
Not even quick.
I think that was just enough for my brain to say, let's tie on a dry fly. Nice and foamy.
Yeah, then it just, everything started to change.
Bless my little sleeping
Yeah, right there.
pad. I lay down when
That's
the
the pocket.
weather's getting bad. I get up in the morning with a brand new mind. The big star telling me go outside. I get up. It's in the corner of the room where the light is low. So in the midday sweat, there's a midnight glow. The Bermuda wood floors only inches beneath. No room between the bed and the wall for my dreams to fall and die. Sometimes close your eyes is all that saves you. When a day's taking all you had to give, when the weight of the world is on your back, you feel like breaking. Lie down to
So often you fish a place that looks awesome and you make good casts and you don't get rewarded. But with this day, it was like every time you had a good cast, fish was there to eat it.
reason to live. There's a ramshackle motor in the backyard shed where I keep my hands busy to keep my head. Coming back to the city after working away, when I love it the most, and I know I'll stay until I'm older. And the voices of love are coming up from the ground, the green grass telling me to lie on down, and the cauliflower clouds over Germantown take on the shape of the animals lost along the way. Sometimes close your eyes is all that saves you. When a day's taking all you had to give, when the weight of the world is on your back.
Despite the fact that it's dumping rain on us, like our sun window has closed and there's hooting and hollering and, you know, the cameraman's running around trying to capture everything, and it felt like, yeah, I don't know, at that point the rain didn't really matter.
Damn good reason to live. Sometimes you close your eyes is all that saves you.
And that whole day, even though the fishing turned on, was still pretty miserable. It was cold, it was wet, it was raining, but I think our spirits were so lifted by the fact that the fishing had gotten so good that we barely even noticed it.
You
breaking. Lie down beside me. After a while, open your eyes and find a damn good reason to live.
Just gotta take what nature gives you, right? Sometimes it doesn't give you much, sometimes it gives you a lot. This time it barely gave us anything, but we were receptive, we kept waiting, and the moment struck.
We could have turned around so many times, but we kept with it for some reason. Maybe that's different for all of us, what that reason is, but there was something that wouldn't let it go. So.
And we were rewarded. It was like a little bit of false hope that we just kept.
It's not a big window, you know, we got like 4 hours in 5 days that was gonna hit it right, but we were here to see it.
Despite not catching that fish that we all thought we thought we were looking for the whole trip, I think we found something that maybe was even more special.
It's a reminder that everything's better with company. You know, I think probably if any of us were there individually, we probably would have left too. But the group morale, pushing each other forward to stick it out, led us to some really incredible experiences.
Nice and muddy. The most successful fishing trips in my mind are the ones where you do have to work through hard conditions and you have to grind through it and really pay attention to all those elements to then when it finally comes together, you're ready for it to happen.
To know that we had such a short window, that we were so lucky to even have those few hours out there and get to see those fish, made that experience even more special.
To me, cutthroat trout and native trout species are as much a symbol of the country as any of the more easily seen and appreciated charismatic wildlife. I don't think that the cutthroat trout is any less American than the bald eagle or the bison or the wolf. You know, I'm biased because I'm a fish nut, but they're often maligned and forgotten, except for by people like us.
It's a short-lived experience, but just enough to like have us itching to come back. Hopefully next time it's not muddy.
You know, I think a lot of people are attracted to manicured environments like a lot of the tailwaters we have in the West. Levels are consistent and they're cold and clear all year round because we get to control them. We get to decide how the environmental factors are at play. And it makes for great fishing, but that really wasn't the experience we were looking for on this trip. We were looking for something a little more wild, and part of being in wild places is that the conditions are wild and unpredictable. I think initially we were looking at the trip like things were going wrong and that it was at risk of being a failure, but maybe in the end it kind of ended up being exactly what it was supposed to be.
The pressure. I'm going.
There's more trips in the future, more fish to be caught, and yeah, bigger adventures to plan. Looking forward to it.
Teaser, Scottie.
Boom.
Bigger trips coming.
We gotta tease the baby.
And cut.
Been walking with these broken shoes, just trying to get away from the news. Soaking up the lemon shade, still I'm gonna leave anyway.
Here it comes.
I can make it look like it's really windy out. Is that good, Scotty?
It's just a tornado.
It's a tornado.
Sorry, some of my shit gets like really rambly. I'm like trying to like find the right words, and I'm like going off into this weird thing where I'm like, I'm losing it. I'm fucking losing it. I'm like getting lost in my own fucking brain.
I don't know exactly when. You guys, sorry. I want you to be able to cough. I don't want you to have to hold it.
Well, you're not allowed to
Our camera guy's dying.
Sorry. Wrong pipe.
I've never had an issue not ejecting safely. That's all really lazy. We're good. Alright, we should probably get someone else's computer. We're gonna be here for a while.
Dude, this is fishy water. I don't know what's going on. No. Will it claim another? How badly do I want to keep this Parachute Adams? Oh my God. Oh, look at that. I got it all. All I had to do was follow rule number 1.
This is what happens when you decide to start walking back to camp. Everyone just decides to start fishing again. Classic. We need to get away from the river.
Whoa. Come on now. What? The battery's low? I just got this camera. I literally bought this before I got here. And the battery died.
What kind of battery is it? It's a special film camera.
It needs like a special battery. What?
A AA.
I'm sangle and ready to dangle.
I mean, the whole point of this is I need new hinge photos, guys. So.
I don't even know what that is. So.
It's got to be some way that kids are having sex these days. I don't fucking know.
You know what, is that like Tumblr or something? What's it called?
Hinge.
Yeah.
Unhinged. What species are you looking to attract with that hat and glasses combo?
Pretty rare species. Walk us through.
There's some fucking crazy flies.
Yeah, they just decided.
They're biting me through my socks again. Fucking interviews, man.
Some storms are good, some storms are bad. Actually, not many storms are good.
Not many storms are good out here. Thanks for prepping all this.
Yeah.